He'll drive in. He is a lefty.
That's a hard screen by Cole.
And illegal screens are kind of interesting to call because if the guy hits the deck, you want to call a legal screen. But sometimes the guy just did a good screen. You never know. And speaking of Cole Trotzen, my 7th grade year, I have all sorts of stories about these basketball guys. 7th grade year, I come into Bellarmine for a basketball camp. And Cole Trotzen is in my mini section. And everyone called him Lefty, and he had this Steph Curry jersey, and we were doing this team activity. Everyone touched a jersey, and an offensive 3 in the key. There is no defensive 3 in the key for high school, which is why people run zones effectively, as McCormack gets called for that. Has the Steph Curry jersey. We all touch it. We all score. We win. It was incredible. Next day, I come back. I'm wearing my Steph Curry jersey. Everyone touches it. We get last. And over and back, McCoy kind of gets into it with Trotzen. There's been a lot of emotion in this game. But anyway, as I was saying, and Kendall Stubblefield was actually our director in this thing. He was leading us, and he said, your jersey just doesn't work. You're not lucky. And then the next day I got sick, so he was very right there as McCormack passes over to Flowers, backwards to Reed Jr., over to McCoy. McCoy to Reed Jr., they're cycling it around. Double team, Flowers passes it back to Reed Jr., passes it over to McCormack. As Chang loses the ball, Flowers, Reed Jr. For 3. Hits the back of the rim. Zhang with the offensive rebound. They're playing into SHC's strengths with Chang and McCormack. As Flowers gets the steal and Ajike will be called. Except for, I would say, one really great sequence by Constantine Cole on defense.
Absolutely.
Where he got 3 blocks in a row. Bellarmine big men have been kind of harassed in this game, have been beaten up a little bit. And Bellarmine is playing a dangerous game here. They're up 14. They have doubled essentially the score of SHC. But in doing so, it hasn't been because they've played exceptional. They've had a lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy play. This is a game. The Bells lost to Sacred Heart Cathedral by giving up a humongous third-quarter run last time they played this team. This game is shaping up to be the same way if the Bells don't get their act together. I think it does that all the time. It's one of the issues. So they're doing check-in between the 2 different score guys. I think Atkinson might also have a score in there. So, and this is only important because, as we mentioned earlier, single bonus, 1-1, and with the way that SHC has been shooting free throws, it's not a guarantee they'll make it, but they're going to keep it at 10, so double bonus for Flowers.
Right, and today SHC has been struggling from the free throw line. If I remember correctly, only 1, maybe max 2 free throws have been made, so double bonus will be important for them.
As Flowers... Okay, scratch everything I said. Now we're in the double bonus.
Right.
I am honestly completely confused about what happened.
And aggressive full court press.
Yeah, great defense there. Cruz with the ball now. No, Cruz is trying to get open with Trotzen with the ball. Hyashin decided to set the screen. Trotzen will drive in. He's working on McCoy. Cruz is trying to get open. McCoy, great defense. And he is hurt. McCoy is hurt. Hit his head diving. And he is in a lot of pain. We don't know exactly what happened, but a lot of pain. Gets called for the foul. He tried to dove to the ground to get that ball. Hard play is always by McCoy. He's played very hard this game, but nose is definitely hurting. And we're not going to speculate on this, but he is going to definitely come out of this game.
Johns is coming in.
Johns does come into the game. Ajike for the Bells. Ajike Ruth Trodson, Cruz, and Kyoshin. Kind of a new lineup here. It's a really wing-heavy lineup.
Jacques getting a lot more playing time.
As Cruz drives in, passes over to Trodson, far corner, misses it. Ajake, or we'll get this corrected at halftime if it's Ajake or Ajake. I think it's Ajake. Anush thinks it's Ajake. But we'll figure this out. But anyway, Trodson misses, and now Johns has the ball. Pass it over to Reed. They want a 2-for-1, I think we can see, as here's Reed Jr. dribbling it up. Screen by Flowers, gets a switch as Cruz now works against Reed Jr. And a block by Cruz, but Jang with the ball, and Reed will reset. Takes the shot, misses because it was a block, so shot clock did not reset. And Bellarmine will have the final shot. They're up 13. They can make it as high as 16. Ruth with the ball now. Ruth jakes it back, trying to work against Johns. Trodson all the way out the Bell logo. Wants a screen by Kyoshin. Dribbles around. He's getting beaten up. And here, Ruth with the 3! Oh my goodness. You could see Trodson's face. He was so mad. He just gave the ball up. He was.
Sacred Heart was shutting Bell down in that last possession, but Ruth with the nice three-pointer to end the half, and that caps a dominant half by Bellarmine, 31-15.
More than doubling HHC's score, 31-15, as Anuj said. We'll be back in around 8 minutes or so, and in this third quarter, Anuj will be handling play-by-play. So, be prepared for that. You're listening to Bellarmine Basketball on BCP Sports Live.
You have to turn on the audio. It's on, it's on.
Your Bellarmine Bells up 31 to 15 over Sacred Heart fighting out.
And Sacred Heart came out with a kind of a hybrid 2-3 zone there. Caught Bellarmine off guard, and that's what caused the travel.
Now we're up to Reed. To McCoy. To McCormick. With Constantine Cole playing defense. And that's McCormick missing off with the three. And Lewis with the rebound to Danker. Danker bringing it up. Danker guarded by McCoy. To Cruz. To Elam. To Cole. Cole finds Danker in the corner.
He wanted that three bad.
There's tight defense by Cedric Reed on a sloppy pass, but Cruz comes up with it in the backcourt, and there's a tussle for the ball that ends up in Sacred Heart's hands, and an easy layup for Cedric Reed. Danker brings it up again to Lewis, who's had a quiet day. Oh, and that's sloppy defense. And Lewis grabs the shoe of Cedric Reed to prevent a fast break, but it's going to be Sacred Heart ball. That's a sloppy beginning to the second half for the Bells.
And as you see with Sasso coming into the game right now for Lewis, it kind of shows the youth that Coach Schneider has on his team. He has the opportunity to like put a young guy out there and sub him out when he makes some tough decisions. Bells are only up 14, 31-17 right now.
McCormick bringing it up. That's to Reed. Cruz playing defense on the outside. Back to McCormick. To McCoy. McCoy working on Elam. That's to Reed. Reed going inside. Finds McCoy on the outside. Danker playing tight defense. That's a tough shot by Reed. It looks like it's going to be Bellarmine ball.
And Bell's playing, again, like both teams are playing, kind of hybrid zones where they play man action when you enter the zone.
Sacred Heart playing a rough full-court press using Bellarmine style. And Sacred Heart's coach livid at that call, as well as the rest of Sacred Heart's team.
They thought it was an 8-second violation, but Coach Schneider barely managed to get the timeout in.
30-second timeout by Bellarmine. You'll redraw play.
So like I was saying earlier when talking about the zones, if you can pay attention and take a look at Bellarmine defense, what you'll see is that when a player enters their zone and has the ball, they end up playing man. So you see a lot of switches under the zone, which typically isn't what happens. So as we're sounds as if we're having some quick audio problems to the few people who are listening.
Oh, and that's a nice move on the inside by Gio Sasso.
But they can hear mine, so.
It looks like it's going to be Bellarmine ball. Quinn Danker taking it out on the inbound.
And
Finds
there
Cruz. Cruz bodying, and that's a miss.
Offensive foul, as looks like Flowers took a big elbow to the chest there. And I think our audio is all clear, so you should be able to hear me and Anuj loud and clear, as one of our friends just said. Shout out.
It's going to be Sacred Heart ball. It's Austin McCormick taking it out. Up to Cedric Reed, back to McCormick, back to Reed. Bellarmine again playing patented full court press. Gio Sasso playing defense. That's out to Flowers, who takes the 3 and barely hits the net. But that's an and 1 for McCormick, who is playing good inside, and he got the board.
We'll call that a pass. Close enough. Air balls. One thing that, if you watch Warriors basketball games, that Jim Barnett always says, air balls go to the offense. No truer there. Practically works like a pass.
It looks like, as we pointed out earlier today, the key for Sacred Heart coming back in this game has been interior rebounding, and they've been doing a good job of that. But again, another missed free throw, and that's really hurt them throughout this game. As Bellarmine pushes up, finds Cruz in the corner. Cruz misses. Cole fights on the inside, but it's going to be Sacred Heart ball.
And that's the foul you're willing to give up with Cruz.
Right. Bells have to be a little more aggressive on the inside, trying to get rebounds. Sacred Heart's been doing a good job of grabbing both offensive and defensive boards, buying themselves a couple more possessions that they really need to get back in the game. 33-19 with just under 5 left in the third. That's McCormick bringing up the ball. Hands it off to McCoy. To Reed. With Danker playing defense. That's to Levon Johns. Back to McCoy. McCormick. Cedric Reed attacking. Danker playing tight defense. On the inside, they find McCormick, but he simply falls short. But they grab the rebound. And they're going to give it back out to Johns in the corner for 3. Another missed 3, but another rebound, and Chang puts it back in, the 6'8" junior.
One team is showing a lot of effort, and another one is giving up a huge run. I think you know which is which.
Oh, and that's a corner 3 missed by Gio Sasso. And here comes Sacred Heart, a strong third quarter. And that's a corner 3 missed again, but the tip-in almost goes in. Sacred Heart really showing a lot of fight on the inside. Bellarmine needs to do a better job of grabbing these rebounds.
Actually, no tip-in. That was big roll, which actually messed up Chang trying to get the rebound.
Oh, that's a good inside pass to Cruz, and he puts it in. That's what Bellarmine needs to do. Ball movement on the inside is going to be the key to keeping this game in Bellarmine's hands.
And I think it's important to note the Bells are up 14. Like, this worry is only relative worry. They're pretty comfortably ahead right now, but a lot can change. These Bells have blown a big lead before.
And that's a 3. Oh, and finally, Sacred Heart hits a 3. That's Corey McCoy. Kieran Cruz not playing the tightest defense as they push up. That's to Trodson, who finds Keachin on the inside and 1 for the sophomore. Keachin using that 6'8" frame to get inside and put it up for the easy layup.
That wiry 6'8" frame looks more like, so if you want to take comparisons, looks more like Kevin Durant than DeMarcus Cousins, you would say.
It's McCormick bringing it up.
Bellarmine is trading baskets, which is never ideal, but when you're up 14, is always accepted. And they finally call a carry. Is that right? Did he call a carry?
I do think it's a carry. It's definitely Bellarmine ball. And it's going to be Trodson taking it out to Danker.
If you guys
tight defense by McCoy.
If you guys remember, we were talking about how I thought Reed Jr. carried the ball practically every time. Finally called it. Interesting to see.
It's going to be a blocking foul, I believe. And Danker's going to take it out from just underneath Bellarmine's hoop.
4 fouls on Flowers.
And Johns is coming in. Flowers coming out of the game, the 6'2" senior.
Big calls because
Danker inside pass to Sasso. Back to Danker. Oh, and he makes the shot, but it is called off by the referee.
Moving screen. Moving screen. Not a moving screen.
Danker inbound.
And a foul call on Gio Sasso.
Danker visibly frustrated. That's 2 unsuccessful inbounds in Sacred Heart's ball.
So these refs let them play in the beginning of the first quarter.
They're being a lot tighter this half.
Called 2 quick fouls on Flowers, and from there have just tightened up considerably in calling this
McCormick,
game.
Troutson playing defense. Oh, and it's Bellarmine ball.
This is a lot of violations. Like a lot of violations.
Sacred Heart's coach yelling, penetrate into the key. That's going to be the key if Sacred Heart wants to stay in this game. Oh, and that's another quick foul by McCoy on Danker as he's trying to bring the ball past half court. Sacred Heart getting into some foul trouble here. It's back to Danker.
And a little bit of trash talk there, a little bit of gamesmanship between McCoy.
That's Cruz at the wing. Oh, and that's automatic for Kieran Cruz. He's been shooting the ball well today.
Bells are showing some emotion, showing some energy. I don't think they like the fact that Sacred Heart Cathedral had beaten them. And that loud voice you hear screaming is none other than Coach Schneider calling out a defensive play call.
Reed to McCormick, who launches the 3 and it's in. Coach Schneider calls time for the Bells, 41-27 with just under 2 left in this quarter. Bells have done a good job keeping their lead, though there have been some runs by Sacred Heart to try to get back in this game.
So, the score, Bells are up 14 right now. If I'm not mistaken, they were up 16 heading into half.
Right, so Sacred Heart haven't done a great job of coming back into this game, though it certainly seems like they have been the stronger team this half.
So, one thing you worry about if you're watching this game, it's kind of like the way the Bells have been playing. Lackadaisical, kind of sloppy. They've been bailed out by some tough shots. They've been bailed out by Cathedral missing a lot of shots.
Right, I don't think Bellarmine's necessarily been the dominant team that we've seen them through most of the season, but I think a lot of their victory so far in this game has been due to Sacred Heart's weakness, especially shooting on from the 3.
Ryan Troutson checks into the game, I
It's going to be
believe.
Troutson on the inbound to Danker as we get underway, or as we get back into this third quarter. Again, the full court press as Danker gives it to Troutson, to Cruz. They still haven't crossed half court. Cruz finally finds an opening. Cruz trying to find Danker, Danker trying to find some space. Gives it off to Gio Sasso, who finds Keachin on the inside, and Keachin gets blocked by Chang. The 2 6'8" forwards going at it. It looks like it's going to be Bellarmine ball, as Sacred Heart playing good inside defense as we've seen throughout some of the game, actually.
That was too easy, just really.
Oh, and they find Gio Sasso in the corner, and he falls short on that 3. But it's going to be Bellarmine ball.
Going back to Hyashin's miss, that was just really easy. Kind of obvious. Second he goes under, doesn't do any
Danker
fakes.
on the inbound, Sasso stuck in the corner. That's good defense by Sacred Heart. Finds Cruz. Cruz going straight at Sacred Heart, and it's going to be Bellarmine ball, walking foul, and Cruz is going to the line to shoot free throws.
So, as you can hear, as we can hear, fans are getting into it as what has been kind of a disappointing showing from the Bellarmine students section at least. For sure, we can hear the
Cruz hits his free throw.
We can hear Sacred Heart Cathedral fans getting into it. They did not like that blocking call, and I agree with them. I think that was a charge.
Cruz, ready for a second. Hits it. Kieran Cruz has been shooting the ball well today. Hasn't been super involved in the Bellarmine offense, but he's been shooting when he's been getting the ball, and it's paying dividends for the Bells. That's McCormick on the outside, guarded by Denker. Back over to Johns. He gives it off to McCoy. It's going to be a foul on, I believe, Cole Troutson, that is, number 10.
And important to note, both teams have now hit single bonus, so any
free throws
for the entire fourth quarter.
Yep. So it'll be McCoy ready to shoot free throws for Sacred Heart, 43-27 with just under a minute left in this third quarter. And McCoy hits his free throw. Second free throw for McCoy. Hits that one too. Sacred Heart starting to shoot the Miles Bowe finds Cedric Reed on the outside as they run it back. Just it's 43-29 with 8 minutes of play left.
Thank you, Anuj. For those of you who don't know, this is Anuj's first game calling a play, and I kind of forced him to play by McCormick. Nice little floater. 43-31. Bells are up. First play hook. Here's Reed now working on Elam. Nice step back.
Oh, and that's a nice play by Reed.
That was beautiful right there. Denker pushing it up. Bells have to work with some urgency. 10-point lead. McCoy hounding, pushing. They thought that was a travel. It wasn't. Here's Denker working on McCormick. Denker for three. Hits it.
That was a nice shot right in the Sacred Heart Cathedral defender's face. The Bells need to do more of that if they want to keep their lead.
And every time Sacred Heart Cathedral thinks they're back in this, the Bells just match them like that. Here's McCormack working on Denker.
This fourth quarter. Denker inside and just bricks the layup.
And Bowe with the ball. Passes over to McCoy. McCoy, bump. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
It looks like this is going to be the first time Sacred Heart's within 6.
If Sacred Heart Cathedral could have hit their free throws.
Right. If I've been counting because I've been noticing that Sacred Heart's been missing. I think this is the 5th or 6th free throw they've missed. This is easily a one possession.
So, important to note, free throws will be a major theme of this fourth quarter as McCoy. It's the ball now. Reed Jr. now's the ball. Over to McCoy. McCoy over to Reed Jr. He's working, drives in, loses the ball, and gets called for the foul, a frustration foul, trying to get the ball back after Denker took it from him.
That's a nice defense by Denker, especially because Reed has been playing aggressively in this fourth quarter. And it's the reason why Sacred Heart is within striking distance with just under 6 minutes left in this game, a 9-point difference as Denker goes to the line.
This is the wrong player you want on the line for the Bells. He and Cruz, most consistent free throw. Beautiful stroke by Denker. Cormac with the ball. So here's Crawford over to McCoy. McCoy working on Denker. Pass it over to Crawford. Crawford drives in. Foul on Elam. They call it on Elam. He is fouled out of this game.
That's a big blow for Bellarmine. Elam's been a strong presence on the inside, the 6'5 junior. And it's looking like Sacred Heart is going to go back to the line. As you pointed out earlier, they are in the bonus, so they're going to be shooting free throws for the rest of the game. If they can start to find their form from the line, this game is going to become a lot closer than we originally anticipated.
Yeah, as Ian Elam will check out of this game with 5 fouls. Another important impact of foul trouble. Elijah Flowers with 4 fouls has not actually played in the second quarter. Free throw. Here's Denker now. Bell's up 10, 5:10 left to go. Calls a play. Wants us.
Fourth on the free throw line. Looks like it's going to be decided there.
This reminds me of a game my sophomore year I think I saw 12 missed free throws. Maybe go on a major rant about missed free throws. Hopefully we don't have that here. The game is looking that it'll be a little more interesting. But more importantly, the announcer jinx, the announcer curse, as a new jinx Denker, the supposed surefire free throw shooter, into missing a free throw.
It's all right. Sacred Heart's been struggling today, so I don't feel too bad about it.
As McCormick misses the second. When you're working at one-on-ones, I suppose it's better if you miss the second than the first because you still get 1 point.
And you get the opportunity to grab the board.
Indeed. That's exactly right. Bad pass by Cruz. 2-on-1. Reed pushing ahead. Foul called on Cruz as Reed Jr. with a nice move. Reed Jr. in the shoot 2. So, if people are a fan of 2K18, which they might be or might not be, we have just pointed out, and I think you can see it, that Reed Jr. looks a lot like boisterous veteran imaginary player, incredible at shooting in the way he's playing as well, Shammy Wells. So, if you know who Shammy Wells is, then you know what we're talking about. As Denker now has the ball, guarded by McCoy. McCoy has been in Denker's ear the entire game.
And that's some tight defense again. Sacred Heart's coach is in the middle of the court.
Yeah, that's. And at the very end.
This game really coming down to free throw shooting.
Say it's for a quick breather before he'll come back in later. Wells, tight defense. Flowers, tight defense.
Cruz getting pushed around.
Cruz is mad. And beautiful layup. You can tell he's not having this aggressive defense. Flowers over to Chang. Back over to Wells Jr. Wells Jr. 3:22 left to go. Down 8. Wells Jr. drives. Whoa. Puts Cole in the spin cycle. Puts me in the spin cycle too. I didn't know what to say with that move. He eventually misses. Denker pushes it up over to Cruz. Cruz slows it down wisely. Pass it over to Trotzen. Trotzen hits it. It's back to a 10-point lead. Crawford over to Wells Jr. Wells Jr. 2:55 left to go. A 10-point lead for the Bell, so they're going to have to go fast, which he's not doing. Pass it over to Crawford again. To Johns. Johns over to Flower. Flower over to Chang. Chang trying to find someone. Chang looking around. Back over to Flowers. Flowers pass over to Chang. Chang travels. McCormick will check into the game for.
That's exactly what Bellarmine needed. They needed one big defensive stop. Deficit's back up to 10. Bells have a chance to extend their lead with just over 2.5 left in this game.
And Bell will go on a mini control break, as you could say, as Trotzen now has the ball. Trotzen looking around. Trotzen drives in, gets blocked. 2:27 left to go. Bellarmine basketball up 10, 54-44. Both teams in the double bonus now, so 2 free throws for every foul. Important to note. Sasso is going to come around from Denker, gets the ball, guarded by Crawford tightly, back over to Cruz, guarded by Flowers. Flowers has 4 fouls on him. Wells now on defense. Wells guarding Denker over to Cruz. Cruz against Flowers, drives in, spins. Beautiful strip, gets the ball back, over to Sasso. Sasso, pull up, misses. McCormick with the ball, 2 minutes left to go, down 10. What will Sacred Heart Cathedral do? Wild shot, Bellarmine basketball. Terrible shot there by McCormick.
Sacred Heart really rushed that possession, and now Bellarmine gets to eat off some valuable time from the clock.
There is no excuse for that type of shot. That's poor basketball IQ for sure.
Looks like if Bellarmine is able to score on this possession, that's essentially the nail in the coffin. Doesn't look like there's enough time for Sacred Heart to mount a comeback.
Denker with the ball. Denker, pass over to Cole. And they are going to call the foul on number 0, Elijah Flowers, with 5 fouls. He has fouled out of this game. McCoy is not playing anymore. He has 4 fouls. And a lot of frustration from Elijah Flowers.
Flowers smacks the Bellarmine chair in frustration. Audible from the broadcaster's booth up here.
And these free throws are going to be huge. Cole hits this. This is going to be the dagger right there. And, of course, leave it to the Bellarmine big man to have the purest free throw form on the team. And on both teams, actually, seeing how this game has been defined by free throw misses. It's never over, though, as Jackson drives in. He gets tripped.
That's another foul. That's 2 free throws for Sacred Heart. Bellarmine giving Sacred Heart the chance to get back in this game.
Giving them the chance to get back in this game, not only because of the points, but because they stopped the clock. 1:42 left. 12-point lead. You need 4 possessions minimum. You need to be able to get 3 points on 4 possessions, or you need 5 possessions. And the only way you get that is when the clock stops.
Oh, and a free throw. You don't see many of those.
I don't think he called it there. Jackson, second free throw. Misses it, and you know when Coach McKay looks back at the tape, he's going to tell his players, this is a game we could have had if we just made our free throws. I can guarantee they're going to be running a lot next practice for all these missed free throws. As Cruz works against Jackson over to Cole.
Time that Bellarmine is cutting out of this game. Sacred Heart trying to get the ball back, but
Denker, nice move over to Cole. Cole misses the layup. Here's Jackson. Stops, pops, doesn't drop.
That looks like it should be the game if Bellarmine can just keep the ball and eat up some valuable
Sasso
time.
drives in. Sasso over to Trotzen. Trotzen loses it back to Sasso. Sasso way off on that. It's an 11-point lead as there's a miss there by Collian, who checked into the game for the fouled out Flowers. Sasso over to Cole. This game is
all but over.
All but over. Took the words right out of my mouth. But we've seen stranger things happen before. And as Reed Jr. pays attention to the not paying attention, Cole, here's Denker. Denker, 3, 2, shoots it, air ball.
It's been a shot clock violation because Denker didn't hit the rim there. Just 11 seconds left in this game. Sacred Heart going to take it out for the final possession of this game as your Bellarmine Bells secure a victory against the team
Wells drives in.
earlier this month.
Doesn't go. He's mad, wanted a foul call. Cussing out the refs, and this game is over. 56-45. Your Bells will win. And important to note, in just 1 week, that's right, 1 week, be right back here on this very YouTube channel, on this very stream, as we will be talking about Bellarmine, St. Francis, the Holy War. Can't wait for it, love it. You'll be seeing me there, and hopefully Anuj will be in the stadium in some capacity.
Bellarmine moves up to 15-4 on the season. Sacred Heart moves to 9-10, just under 500. As Bellarmine looks to a big matchup, as Akshaj mentioned, against St. Francis just next week.
With that said, I'm Akshaj Drividula.
I'm Anuj Katari.
We had Carlo Jimenez working scoreboard, Lucas Owens working camera. Quick shout out to Tarun Churval and Arnav Bao and Anish Shindar, random people who were kind enough to tell us what we were doing wrong. So if you can hear us, shout out, guys. For the rest of you, thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Bellarmine Basketball on BCB Sports Live, streaming on YouTube. We'll see you next time.